Hey, hi, and welcome to the Tianjin Ecocity. Today I'm going to run through it and around it and talk about what it is, why it's here, what its purpose is, and whether it's a good thing in the first place or whether it's a ghost city, basically. So sit back and relax, enjoy the run through, or throw in your runners and jump on your treadmill and run with me. And how I'm going to do this is mix the commentary between what I'm doing now, talking in post-production, and also using actual commentary that I was doing while I was doing the run itself. I'll also read out a magazine article that I wrote in 2014 about the Ecocity. But first, here's some in-run chat. I'm going to turn down this little walking running trail. I think I'm supposed to give way still to cars, but I'll go. This is the Eco Valley Green Road Park. I was here last night. There's lots of statues here. This shows the history of Tianjin as a city, as you walk or run or ride your bike through here. It is almost 7 o'clock in the morning on Monday morning, and the temperature is hot and sticky. You can hear lots of cicadas. Now I'll jump back to the post-production recording. I'm going to start with reading out the Ecocity report that I wrote in 2014 called China's Vital and Amazing Ecocities. It was a report that I produced for a magazine in Australia about the Tianjin Ecocity, and I did a tour of China in 2014 and visited quite a number of ecocities, and this was the report on that, and it was published back then. Okay, so I'm going to read it out now. Over the past 30 years, China has grown from an insular country of a predominantly rural population of 1.1 billion people, with an 85% rate of population living below the international poverty line, to over 1.3 billion people living mainly in cities with poverty levels now below 15% of the overall population. I wrote this in 2014, so some of these figures are a little bit out of date now. Okay, so I keep going. This very rapid urbanization and increase in wealth is unprecedented in the history of the world. And while the overall news is exceptionally good, the price China and the world has paid is an equally unparalleled increase in pollution and environmental degradation, leading to extremely dangerous levels of toxic pollutants for people to try to live with, and an explosion in greenhouse gas emissions that is undoubtedly contributing to climate change across the entire world. This surge has occurred at a time when the world as a whole has begun to reach limits in pollution and resource depletion, along with a growing realization that human-caused climate change will disrupt the planet's climate in ways that civilization may not be able to cope with. In short, like the entire world, China desperately needs to find a way to greatly reduce toxic pollution, greenhouse gas levels, and create healthy places for people to live and prosper in. Enter the Ecocity. This concept has seen pilot environmental settlements get built right across the world and has recently been internationally dubbed the Ecocity. While in Australia the settlements are more accurately called eco-villages, as they are typically house up to about 1,000 people, such as the Eco-Village in Currumbin in Queensland, the Beyond Today project in South Australia, and the Cape Patterson Eco-Village in Victoria. But in China, where the scale of everything is staggering, the pilot projects are certainly eco-cities. Places where large numbers of people, hundreds of thousands in most cases, can spend their lives in clean, sustainable, built environments. And there are no actual standards for eco-cities to be accredited under, but the broad goals are are to be all-inclusive cities where people can live in, go to work, go to school, shop, play sports, see arts and other recreation, and have community services such as health, police, etc., etc. In short, everything you would expect a normal city to allow people to do. Because there are no accreditations to achieve, eco-cities do vary in their specifications and aspirations. But in general, good eco-cities should address these key points. They should try to have green energy, energy efficiency, sustainable transport, biodiversity protection, waste minimization and reuse, sustainable use of water, and that is potable and natural systems, zero pollution industries, local organic food, healthy lifestyles, and social inclusion. But not all eco-cities include all of the above. In fact, very few do.
But as more are planned and constructed, the shared learnings are creating higher quality, more comprehensive eco-cities right across the world, including of course in China, which has the largest number of these projects. So eco-cities in China. One of the most ambitious Chinese eco-cities was unfortunately its largest failure. That was the Dongtan Eco-City on the outskirts of Shanghai. It was clearly a bad start. Since then, the second round of eco-cities was announced, with the Sino-Singapore Tianjin Ecocity, where we are right now, which will accommodate 350,000 people, and it is the highest profile and most supported by the Chinese government. The Tianjin project is designed to do two things. It has a core goal of providing healthy, green place to live in an otherwise heavily industrialized region, and it has a twin goal of demonstrating a way to build cities in China that can meet the needs of people while repairing the environment. In fact, this project has been such a resounding success so far, even in 2014, that it has been earmarked as a model for all future Chinese cities to be built. That is, eco-cities in China have moved from being pilot projects to become the standard for all urban development projects. Okay, I'm just going to jump back into the live commentary for a second.
Oh, I can go. I was assuming that now I've got to go left. This is one of the shopping malls. And I think I go down here now, yeah. Oh, there's some Tai Chi being practiced. That's very common across China.
Okay, I'm going to go back to the article reading now, but before I do, if you're enjoying the video, please give it a like. If you have any comments or questions, please drop them into the comments, and if you'd like to see more like this, please hit subscribe. It would be great to be aboard. Okay, back to the article. When you consider that another 200 million rural Chinese people are expected to relocate to urban locations in the coming decades, there is a staggering amount, that's that word again, staggering amount of sustainable development in China that has only just begun. Also, while the Sino-Singapore Tianjin Ecocity is a very good example, it is by no means the only high-quality Chinese ecocity project. The southern Chinese city of Shenzhen, with a population of 12 million, actually now it's about 15 million, has completed an eco-city which was developed in collaboration with the Dutch government and houses more than 200,000 residents. Shenzhen also has an amazing example of the Green Office Tower. The amount of vegetation, natural ventilation, and water features throughout this building make it feel far more like a living, breathing being than a building, among an almost otherwise concrete-dominated landscape.
Yeah, I'm going to turn left, but I just want to have a look here. This is one of the waterways. It's definitely hotter here in the sun, even though it's a cloudy day. The sun's still coming through. Okay, I'll turn left here. I want to get out of this parkland to be able to see more buildings and things.
Okay, now I'm going to jump back to the article reading and pick it up where I'm talking about more eco-cities around China. The second one is in Tangshan, which has about 7 million people, 150 kilometers northwest of Beijing, and its collaboration with the Swedish government to build what is perhaps the highest specified eco-city, which will house 450,000 residents. The concept of the Tangshan project is twofold: to provide a clean and healthy place for people to live and work within a city, and also provide an oasis to live for the workers of surrounding heavy industry. But I have to say, now it's 2024, that project actually did fail. They ran out of money. Back to the running commentary for a second.
I like these buildings on the right-hand side. Are they houses? I think they're houses. They look very executive.
Okay, so the next one is Wuhan, with 10 million people living there in central China, is building a 200,000 person resident eco-city. California's Silicon Valley is involved, and the emphasis is obviously on high tech, but because of Wuhan's absolute central location in China, the project also focuses on logistics and delivering low-carbon products and services to all of China. IBM has already set up a large base there, and this was well before the COVID pandemic, of course. The northern coastal city of Qingdao, with about 8 or 10 million, I think it's 10 million now, has strong links with Germany, and is building a modestly sized, by Chinese standards, it's 50,000 people, but it's an exciting and pragmatic eco-city. Qingdao is an amazing place that, among other things, boasts tap water that even foreigners can drink, and that's a quote. It's a Qingdao quote. Tap water that even foreigners can drink. Being in this very impressive project under blue skies is hopefully a sneak peek into a much cleaner, greener China and world of tomorrow. Also, Chengdu, Chongqing, Changsha, and Hua, Yinyan, and other cities are also planning and or building eco-cities, with obviously many more to come. Now, the view from here, and I'm going to quote an old Confucius, they're all old, of course, from Confucius, an old Confucius line that says, "A lion chased me up a tree, and I'm now greatly enjoying the view from the top." And that's kind of a bit of a connection to the eco-cities. They need to be done, but the benefit is there once they are. Now, back to the run.
A lot of traffic. So it's busy here. It's definitely not a dead ghost city. I think I can clear that up. These are all people who live in the eco-city, because the city's a dead end. This is not a through road going between two other cities. This is, you don't go anywhere else once you're at the eco-city. This is pretty much the end of the line.
And I'll now continue the article reading. So there is no doubt that China's eco-cities are as vital as they are exciting. China is certainly in crisis from a pollution perspective, and the whole world is from climate change, which China certainly plays a major role. By the way, again, this is old now. Since this was written, Chinese pollution levels have improved a huge amount. Around the Beijing Olympics, that was a bit of a watershed, and things are definitely improving on the PM 2.5 pollution as well. So anyway, back to the story. The recent announcement of the Chinese central government to lower GDP in favour of higher environmental and social outcomes further supports the case for eco-city developments. This is further strengthened by the announcement of the Chinese central government that said that the next 300 cities to be built in China would follow the Tianjin Ecocity model.
We might climb this little tower just to have a little look out before continuing. A really cool thing about this eco-city too that I really like is there are other eco-developments in other parts of the world, but they tend to, there's some wind turbines over there, they tend to be built in really good areas that are already kind of, you know, environmentally positive or solid. That was not the case here. This is an industrial wasteland, or it was, and a big part of the budget was to detoxify the soil and the waters, which took the first couple of years of development apparently. Yeah, the view's pretty good. I don't see a lot of solar panels. I think there might be some over there on those houses, but you can see there's no big solar farms or anything like that. So anyway, the goal was to build an eco-development that was also repairing damaged land, to do it in a way that can also be done. I'm going this way, and I'm sure, and I'm pretty sure they've succeeded in that. Oh, the trees are much lower here. This is a real wetland.
So now back to the article again, and we're seeing that play out now.
Hello.
This is obviously, like I keep saying, 10 years ago, and the biggest development has been Xiong'an. It's in the new area of Beijing. Beijing's basically going to double in size in the next 50 years, and the Tianjin Ecocity has informed the sustainability features of that new part of Beijing. Well, these projects, development in China, are already world class, and while there is a variation between each Chinese eco-city, all easily outspec almost all Australian eco-settlements, certainly in scale, but also in their scope, in their goals and their specifications. But there is also no doubt that the highest quality Chinese projects are those that have collaborated with international governments and companies. And there are great opportunities going into the next round of projects, because as you would have heard, every one of those projects I've said was done in collaboration with somewhere outside of China. That's a very significant and important aspect of it. One point to make is that it is disappointing that none of the projects here addressed improving existing cities or buildings through sustainable retrofitting. There are already hundreds of millions of people living in existing urban buildings in China, and billions of people in existing buildings across the world, and these must also be addressed.
Maybe I'll go, what's that? I want to get closer to some buildings. That's a dead end. What's that doing there? Why would they? Anyway. Hello, 你好，早上好。Friendly guy.
Okay, now I'm going to finish the article read. This is the last section of the article. Then we'll be purely in the run itself. But China is perhaps not the ideal country to lead on retrofitting, as it is focused on just trying to keep up with the staggering transition of millions, hundreds of millions of people into new urban areas. Perhaps sustainable retrofitting is something that is best left to countries with a more stable residency pattern, such as those in Europe or Australia and other places like that. So China and the world must learn from the successes and the failures of projects like these and keep improving what we can achieve and what we can do with new cities, new towns, new villages, and new buildings to make them as environmentally productive as possible. There is no place on Earth that has the capacity and the need to do this on such a scale and speed required as in China. So watch this space. And that's the end of that article. So yeah, there's a lot that's happened since then. As you can see in the video, I'm running through the city, showing you what it's like now. And you can see that there is some learnings that came out of it. So what I want to stress is that not everything was perfect. Not everything was exactly as good as it could or should be, but then other things ended up being better than expected. So hopefully you'll see this in this video, and as we go through the rest of the city, I'll do a bit of a wrap up at the end of it as well, of course. But for now, it's going to be pure running talk, commentary of during the run itself. So I'll see you at the end of the video when I do the wrap up. Enjoy the run for now.
The National Maritime Museum of China is here, so that's a big thing, and it's one of the drivers of tourism to this place. Tourism is definitely an industry important here. Okay, so this is the biggest road in the eco village, not village, eco city. I say eco village because I was involved in designing one as well. I'm a builder, or I was a builder and designer. It is called the Cape Patterson Eco Village, that has in Australia near Melbourne, which has about 200 people living there. So yeah, this is just a bit of a bigger scale version of the road, because I want to get back into the shade because that sun is brutal, and the way the early morning is, the trees aren't doing their job on that side of the road. Real estate prices here are about, they start at about 6,000 per square meter. Sorry, I'm not going to try to convert that into US figures, but except for dollars, it's about 1,000, a bit under 1,900 US dollars per square meter. But the average price, which is a furnished apartment, to buy an apartment here is more like triple that, about 20,000. In comparison, the city that I live in Tianjin, is at least 10 times that figure. It's like 200,000 RMB per square meter, which is mind-boggling. Houses in Shenzhen are like millions of US dollars, not just Chinese dollars. And here, yeah, obviously about 10 times less than that. Anyhow, my speed's okay. I normally run between 10 and 20 kilometers a day, and my speed is usually between 4 minutes 30 and 5 minutes per kilometer, which is pretty much what I am right now, about 4:30. How far have I gone? 4k. Okay, I don't even know how far I'll go today. It'll be somewhere between 8 and 12, I think, but I don't really mind where it sits in those numbers. So I'm interested in talking to people. I want to meet with the developers today, as well as some level of government. I sent emails, but I didn't get any replies, unfortunately. So I'm just going to walk into offices and say, "Hi, I'm Peter. I like to run, but I want to have a really good look around this city. Can you show me, please?" But I'm also going to talk to people. I've already got some opinions from people who live here, and there was one guy that gave, I think, pretty honest, brutal opinions on the place. He said it's awesome but boring, clean but not a lot going on, but really good for his kids, for their schooling, but not so much for him, for his job. But because he's got kids, he wanted them to have really good education opportunities, so he brought them here. Anyhow, police on the roads directing traffic. Can I go in there? That's the government area. I mean, I will later. Might not do it right now in the run. One of the internal roads, I'll do one of them a little later. So there's another reason why I make videos like this. I'm not just doing this to show off this eco-city and see whether it's any good or not. I also make these for scenery to run to on treadmills. I got a little bit addicted to that when I was in the last days of COVID, and I still wanted to run. I managed to get myself a treadmill, and while it was awesome, it was also boring. But I found people do GoPro videos of all over the place, all over China. Not many in China, but all over the world. And I wanted to do that too, to contribute to that. All right. Oh, that's the animation area, that big building there. The other big ticket industry here. China has a big film industry, and a lot of that is for kids, of course, and a lot of those kids movies are cartoons, of course, and this is apparently the sort of the hub of that as well, which is pretty cool. I'm pretty comfortable here. I'm sweating like crazy, but it's just the nature of the beast running in summer. Up here, humidity, to give you some numbers on the heat, the actual temperature is not that bad. It's about 29 degrees Celsius. So if you're in the USA, I don't know the exact Fahrenheit for that, but it's 90% humidity with no chance of rain. It's humid as hell. So the feels like temperature, because of the humidity, is about 37, which is definitely hot. There's a metro being built here. I don't think it's quite turned on yet. So public transport here is electric buses. Electric buses are very common. That's nothing special in China. Pretty much every bus, apart from intercity buses, all the metro buses in China are basically electric these days. I'm gonna go back in here. The other focus of this development too is not really renewable energy. It's more focused on citywide energy efficiency. So energy efficient housing in a high density, so high-rise energy efficiency, as well as energy efficiency of public buildings and streets and everything else. So there's a lot of places I've got full canopy trees over like this, exactly like this, so there's more shade. Tianjin does get cold though in the winter. It does snow here, so these are also deciduous trees. This terrain is good, but I do want to get to the wind turbines. There's a park there that I want to go through as well. It's kind of the iconic area. So what do you think so far? Any comments? Good, bad, or otherwise? Do you think it's a ghost town, ghost city? Do you think it's looks good, looks boring, looks clean, looks safe? I can tell you it's very safe. That's never a problem anywhere in China, but I think particularly here. Oh, that's on that. There's not as many electric cars here as I was expecting. All of the motorbikes are electric here, that I've seen anyway. But it's a pretty typical blend of cars. It looks like about 75% are still fossil fuel cars and about 25% being electric. I thought it might be a bit more here. There's a garden path, a park path. I'll go there. All right, back on here. Oh, is this locked? I don't think so.
By the way, here's another reminder, if you haven't already done so, please, if you're enjoying the video, give it a like, leave a comment and subscribe.
So, it's maybe a bit late to say this, but if you're running to this and my voice is annoying you, just turn the volume down, put some headphones on, listen to some music. Cheers. That's what I do. My hotel's right in the middle of the Ecocity, so I will sort of go, once I finish this park, I'm going to head into the heart of the Ecocity. Now there's a bridge ahead. That's the original bridge connecting. It's kind of an island. The Ecocity's on I mean, it's not an island, but there's rivers going around it. And that was the original bridge to be able to access this area in the first development. The turbines look good. I can't hear them, can you? Very good. Now, as you can see, there are some old people walking around. Most of the people here so far, people that have moved in to live here, are apparently retirees from not just the Tianjin downtown, but also from Beijing and Dongbei, which is very far north China, towards the Russian Siberian border up there, because it's warmer down here. But there's also a pretty large amount of young families, because there were also quite a lot of good schools built here with links to university entry and things like that. But apparently what I've learnt already is missing here is that kind of middle group of people. There's no real factories here. The industry is based around IT, design, education and health. There are at least 2 hospitals here. So, you know, while it's a fully functioning city, it's missing a couple of things like that. Thing to bear in mind, it's still a small city from Chinese standards. This city is not trying to grow to be 10 million like a lot of Chinese cities are, or even 1 million. Right now there's 100,000 people living here, as I said, and there's an upper limit. It's still being built. The construction hasn't fully finished yet, but there's an upper limit of the amount of housing here of 350,000, which sounds like a lot, and it is, but in Chinese city terms, It's really not a big place. So the goal was to have a fully functioning small city that could then be used as a demonstration to teach other cities how to do it. So the demographic that's missing that I could see last night is probably teenagers, especially older teenagers. Lots of children, but mostly younger kids, primary age, and even less than that. And I'm guessing that by the time those kids hit high school and university, of course university, there's no university here yet, then they have to move on. My girlfriend Cece and I arrived here yesterday afternoon. We had a little bit of a look around. We saw 2 shopping centers with stores from everything from traditional Chinese food to McDonald's and Starbucks, and then clothing from local things to Adidas and those kinds of brands. So all the runners are older guys like me. I'm officially an older guy now. I'm 54. This looks like a bit wastelandy here. Ghost city like. But it's part of the wetland area as well. I'm glad those trees are on my left hand side, blocking the morning sun. So it's still pretty comfortable. I mean, it's not. I'm really hot. But it's better than in the sun. I hear yelling over there. I wonder if that's police or doing a drill or what it is. Now these people must be fishing here. Little clumps of bikes parked on the side like that almost always usually means fishing is good nearby. I should go down to the water's edge, shouldn't I? And it's a dead end. Oh well, I'm gonna go to the water's edge. I can probably go through there. Yeah, I'm gonna go down here. Trail running now. I love trail running. Where will it bring me? I wouldn't want to stop running here because I'm sure this is mosquito downtown. Okay, that's all it was. A little link up. That was weird though. Why there'd be a dead end without more of a link there. So why am I in the Eco-City? I'm in the Eco-City because I'm very interested in environmentalism, climate change, and I have been since about 1994. And in 2013, 11 years ago, visited here because it was being named the most important low carbon development in the world. So I came for a visit back then, but it was all brand new. I did see this trail here, but it was, yeah, everything was bare. So I've come back to have a look at it. I've heard all kinds of reports about the success of the Eco-City. 100,000 people live here now, and those reports range from, yeah, it's doing pretty well, but a lot of other reports are saying, what is this, another Chinese ghost city? There's nothing here, it's failed because no one wants to live here. So I'm doing this run to check it all out. Are there people here? Is it a ghost city? Was it a success? Or has it been a big failure? Okay. I'm gonna go this way. I'm getting a little bit sick of the park again. I think it's about time for the city. Yeah. I might sneak through here again. Can I go through here? There's lots of little shortcuts around here. I love it. Okay. See, the cars going past me now with blue license plates means that they're using petrol or diesel, and the ones with green license plates are electric. So I'll point them out. Petrol, petrol, and I saw a couple of electric in there earlier. So yeah, not crazy amounts. Big sculpture up here. Wonder what that is. But I'm going to turn left into the city roads up here anyway. I'll say goodbye, parklands. What is that? Maybe I'll just go down a little bit to have a look. They look like kind of a sculpted tree, giant tree. Okay. Huge figures. I'll do a lap around them and then go back to my hotel. I don't know what they represent. I wasn't expecting that. So if you know what that is, what it's representing, please put it in the comments. The sun! Ah! Something baby it says there. A few people out just sitting back relaxing, looking at their phones here. Not a lot though. Looks like it's an administration building disguise. Oh, maybe it's a toilet. I think it's a toilet. I can go here. They got solar panel street lights. I don't like them. I think they're a bit of a greenwash. They never, I don't know, I've never really seen good ones working well. And they got little wind turbines on them too, which honestly I think are even worse. What's that? Oh yeah, that's a school. That's a fine art school, including ballet and dance. All right. turn right here again. They're spraying, they're cutting, they're cleaning. So I wonder what they're spraying. I'm sure it's to stop weeds. It wasn't Roundup. I could smell that. But it's maybe, hopefully, a more eco version of Roundup. If there is such a thing. That looks like a hospital to me. No, that's a school. Okay. Huh. Oh, I'm going the wrong way. I'm going exactly the wrong way. I was running out of the Ecocity. Can't believe how bad I was there. I should know basics with the knowing where the sun is right now. Anyway. Typical Chinese school, lots of parents at the gate, like any school in the world. Car drop-off area, a lot of parents ride bikes, take their kids on bikes. Not many people walking. I thought I might tell people, you know, kids walking. Anyway. Ooh. Okay. So still, this is a built up area, still very open. These roads are very big. Have some breakfast in the communities, which is very typical in China, are gated communities, just for safety for kids, so they don't run out on roads and people just generally have more security. Apart from those executive houses that you saw earlier in the video, everyone here will live in high rise. I live in a high rise in Tianjin, and they're good. They're really good. haven't seen a lot of public toilets. I've seen a couple, but I thought maybe there'd be more than that. Oh, I'm just gonna get across. And once it goes to 0, those cars go. They don't wait. All right, I can run across here. Whoops, electric car nearly hit me. The irony of being killed by an electric car in Ecocity. Yeah, very clean, lots of bins. Shenzhen, for some stupid reason, has been getting rid of their public bins with a, I think, an idea that if you don't have bins, people will carry their rubbish. That might be true in some countries. It's absolutely not true in China. If there are no bins, people just drop their rubbish. There needs to be bins like here. You see, it makes a huge difference. But they're maintained as well. I was running in Naples a few weeks ago in Italy, in Napoli, and they've got bins there. Here's a toilet. Whew, I don't need it though. Anyway, in Naples, they've got plenty of bins. They've got bins like this, but they're all overflowing with rubbish. They don't have the actual staff to clean the things. So the place is a mess. It's really a lot of rubbish in Naples. I could have gone further that way. Maybe that's just the start of it, I don't know. But now I'm going to turn right back into the Eco Valley Corridor Park. So you can now, I think, get the feel that this is in the middle of the Ecocity, a nice central park now. That guy back there. Wow! Lawai. Lawai means foreigner. little fountain. There's little gateways into the housing communities here. Even really little things, which is good. So the people living nearby have direct access to this park. There were some kids, teenagers last night we saw on skateboards in a kind of a mocked up skate park, which was pretty good. Here's the map of the whole thing. I'll just stop there for a second. You can pause the video if you want. So it's a bigger area than the Ecocity. The Ecocity is kind of this part here. This whole area has got, Tianjin is building kind of a bigger new area. But the Ecocity part is regarded as its own kind of place within that, a separate city within that area. My hotel room is awesome. It's one of the very few times I've afforded to actually stay in a suite, 70 square meters. I normally stay in the smallest, cheapest, but the hotel rooms here are unbelievably good value. This hotel room, it's more expensive than I normally spend. I normally spend about $50 US, about 300 RMB. This one here is 550, but the same apartment, the same hotel is like 2,500 RMB instead of 550 RMB if you're in a big city like Beijing. So it's a good opportunity to stay somewhere very nice and luxurious. Here's where I started, China, Singapore, Tianjin Ecocity. That's my hotel, the Lavender. It's awesome. Keppel up at the top corner there. That's the development company. And I'm done. Okay, 11.25. See ya.